they can manage blocked words and change chat modes. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the best idea when you hit to go live. Hi, friends. This is my first time live on YouTube. I've been going live on Facebook since it began, since live was an option. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here. But the first time you hit to go live, it does this whole banner of like a thing that I just read about moderators. Is that and it's live and it's recording. So is that really the best time for you to show me that? Maybe before I hit the button, so the beginning of the live doesn't look stupid. Whoa, I'm all matchy today. Okay, you know it's going to be a good day. Super excited to be here. Yeah, I'm kind of switching up my content. I've been on Facebook, like I said, and going live for forever. I'm not thrilled with what's happening over there. I'm not thrilled with it. I'm not enjoying it. I think the algorithm is becoming ridiculous. But I do have so many followers on Facebook, and so I'll continue to post some content there, but I really want to migrate over and try new things. And I see Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl, and I actually see your comment. Hopefully very quickly. There wasn't quite the delay. But yeah, it all looks the same. I mean, very similar. So I don't know. I'm going to be figuring things out as I go. I'm kind of afraid to hit any. There's a bunch of buttons to the side, and it's really calling to me to hit these buttons, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. I'm not going to do it. Hi, Olivia. So anyways, listen, I put a description in this live, just kind of describing what my plan is over here. I have so many of you are Gen X or older millennials who have been navigating motherhood and are now kind of semi-empty nesters or bird launchers, as I like to say. We're launching the birds. I have one bird out of the nest in college, another little bird who's going to be a junior, and he just started driving. So this is going to be the first year. He starts school next week. This is going to be the first year that I am not driving a kid to their first day of school in like 16 or 17 years. It's weird. Those of you, I know there's a lot of you who've been through this before. It's weird. I don't think I'm sad about it. I'm excited for the freedom because I also feel like, and call it menopause or just you're tired at the point when you've got two almost grown kids, right? That I really don't want to be needed anymore. Not to the same level. Now, having said that, now on the other end, our generation, we're sandwiched in between kids and now caring for aging parents. So where I just got one kid off to college last year, she doesn't need me as much anymore. My son now is a driver, but now my mom's needing me more. So, and it's just, it's the life cycle. It's just part of it. But what is that saying? Just because you carry it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. And I know it's heavy. And what's interesting, and I don't know if any of you are finding this, I'm sure you are, because my experience is, especially being, so public with my life for the last 12 years. Hello, Miss Laura, good to see you. So what I find interesting, and we just had another doctor's appointment with my mom yesterday, is the same people who raised us to suck it up, stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about, all of that. I mean, I always thought my mom was just this really strong, tough chick, and she's kind of a wuss. She's kind of, and I'm being nice by saying this, kind of, a baby. And that's not me not being empathetic, but that's me saying, excuse me. My sister and I even told her yesterday, we're like, you know that you are the one that raised us to be this way, right? And now it's biting you in the ass. But you raised us to be this way. Suck it up. You can do hard things. It's not that bad. You're going to be okay. Like, all of that stuff. But it's mentally taxing. It's in the last few years, I really have been like, I heard the phrase mental load, the mental load that we carry. And especially as moms, because when your kids are little, you got to think about what are they eating, how much are they eating. You got to monitor, the diapers, and like, have they pooped today? Did they not? What was it? What did it look like? All of these things. Oh my God, if you're not a mom yet, buckle up. You got to, do I have the right size diapers? Because you always, you know this, you always have to have the next size ready to go, because in a moment's notice, there's a blowout and you got to deal with that. They got the sniffles. Is it just the sniffles? Is it something else? They're not sleeping. You're not sleeping. They're crying all the time. Is it teething? Is it a growth spurt? Is it, all of a sudden one day, my son jumps out of his crib and runs out into the backyard on his own at 1 a.m. And I wake up to every light in the house being on. It's more than just a country song. There's, what size shoes are they wearing? What size of the pants are they wearing? What size of Okay, now they're getting to the age where you gotta like get them into preschool. And I thought, well, big deal. You just go to preschool and you sign them up. I know you're laughing right now. It's just hilarious. It's a lot. And it's why we were mentally tired, emotionally tired, and physically tired. As they get older, it's not so much the physical tired, but it's still the emotional and the mental tired. And I have had to, so I have Life 360. I know a lot of you probably have that for your kids too and your family. I have my mom on it now. But when my daughter went to college, she didn't want to be on Life 360 anymore. Well, being the Gen X girl growing up in the 70s and 80s, I was like, what you getting ready to do? What you gonna do that you don't want your mama to know about? Don't be suspicious. That's a song that kept going through my head. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I was very suspicious. But I said, okay, here's the deal. Because she's my oldest, my first kid. And I've said to her, all through her high school, well, I think even junior high, I was saying this to her. I'm like, you're my first. Like, I've never had an eighth grader before. I've never had a 10th grader. I've never had a high school senior or a college freshman before. This is all new to me, and I'm learning to navigate it the best I can. Back off, sister. But I had found myself, I didn't love the idea of taking her off of Life 360. But because she was at college and my husband is retired law enforcement, we have a lot of law enforcement in the family. I've heard way too many stories. First husband was a cop. No, I'm not just attracted to cops. Okay, I swore off of them after him. This was a fluke. Also, Darren told me that he worked for the Treasury Department, which he did technically, because the Secret Service used to fall under the Treasury Department before 9/11, and then it went under Homeland Security. But anyways. I knew you had that story. I know you had those questions. I could hear it. But I know too much. I hear too many stories. So I was like, okay, what did she do today? Where'd she go? Or was she safe? And it's not that I didn't, it's like what I hear my mom in my head. It's not that I don't trust you. Right? It's not that I didn't trust her. I'm just making sure, because these days it is very, very scary to be a female in the world. Like, females, this may be strong language, but they're hunted. They're hunted in many. Dateline. Try to watch a Dateline. where the female isn't the victim. Mm-hmm. I had to stop watching Dateline when she was in high school, and I've just recently been able to start watching it again, but I still can't watch anything about a college girl because I can't. But so what I did is I took her off of Life 360, but I kept her on, like, Find My iPhone, whatever. So I can't see, like, because Life 360 gives you it. For me, it was way too much information. Here's where she went. Here's the route she took. Here's how fast she drove. Here's how many times she was on her phone while she was driving. And that's good when they're in high school. But then at college, I had to just like let it go. So that kind of started my journey. I have a point here. That started my journey on things that weren't serving me anymore. So like now I can make sure that, okay, well, this is where she is in case, I need to get to her or whatever, just for safety. I mean, I want people to know where I am, okay? Because in case you need to come and get me. But it got me thinking, like, how many things, I'm very conscious about entering this new season, this new chapter of my life. So how many things have been on autopilot over the last 15 years, 20 years even, that aren't serving me anymore, that aren't in my best interest, that I can let go of. Also, even just trying to find space on my plate, right? My plate just kept getting piled, and it's like, wait a minute. Some of this stuff I've gotten really good at, so I can do it in a different way, right? Maybe like think of your work. When you first start out with a job, it takes you a lot longer to do the same tasks that 3 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in, 15 years in, you're just like, oh, it's not even a problem anymore. So you can kind of revamp the system. So I've spent this summer, because Adam my son got his driver's license in June. So that really shifted things for me. So I've spent this summer just kind of like sitting in the backyard under my trees, grounding myself, and just really thinking about, what do I want the next chapter of my life to look like? How do I want to move in that chapter? Really is more what it is. What can I streamline? What can I revamp? And here's the main key. And this is really, so I want this page here is it a page on YouTube? This channel, it's a channel. This channel, I really want this to be a community. I created a community on Facebook. I want to really create a community here on YouTube, for anybody who resonates with anything that I'm saying. Gen X women, semi-empty nesters or empty nesters, even, you know what? And if you have littles at home, because I know there are some of you who are friends who have littles at home, and you just want to hang out and have a community and have some aunties and pseudo grandmas offer advice. I know when I was in my 30s, this is before I was early 30s, before Darren and I got married or had kids, I quilted. I made a ton of quilts, and I would hang out at the quilt store, work on my quilts there once a week. I was by far the youngest person there. I'm in the done that, got the t-shirt area. Exactly. And Laura, we're part of the I do not care club, right? Have you seen that? Oh my gosh, I love that lady. So, but I would hang out with these women at the quilt store. And I remember Dolores, she was in her 80s. I was 30. The next youngest was my friend. Her name was also Sherry. She was like 44 years old. Her kids were just graduating. I think her son had just gone off to college, and then her daughter was still at home. So kind of my situation, but just the genders were reversed. And then the rest of the ladies were somewhere in between. Most had grown kids and were grandmas. It was very comforting to me and very calming for me to listen to them talk about just life, and for me to talk about life, and them to just, give their opinions. I know, we don't always want the opinion of like our mom, but the same opinions that come from people outside of your family, it's like, oh wow, suddenly it's a revelation, right? It was just really good for me. And I grew up with my grandparents. They lived 2 blocks away. So I grew up around my grandma and her sisters, so my great aunts. So I always had that, that might be part of like what was comforting to me too, just kind of, I just love that chatter. It was kind of the female version of the barbershop, and it was our little clubhouse. And so I want something like that here for all of us. And the topics can range. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But what I plan on doing here is talking about issues and stuff that I'm going through, because I know there'll be a lot of you who are going through it. And again, like I said, if there's a topic that you want to talk about, all you got to do is comment below or shoot me a message. But also talking about books. I love talking about books. We're gonna kick the in September. We're gonna kick off the book club again. It's a monthly book club. It's all here online. We'll have 2 books to choose from, so that way, if one isn't like, you can pick one or pick both, whatever, and we'll discuss it once a month. And also, I want to talk about this journey and these changes that are happening with our skin and our hair and all this stuff. Okay. So I've been in the makeup industry for over 20, like probably 25 years now. I've worked for all different brands. And I thought I knew my stuff until menopause hit. It hit me 5 years ago. But I feel like it's really hit, like it hit me, it smacked me upside the head 5 years ago. But in the last few years, I've noticed changes in my skin and in my makeup. And so there's some serums and some things that I've been trying everything. Those of you who know me, I'm a product hoe. I have been researching online products, looking up stuff, Sephora, Ulta, Target, even looking up things to help, because I was having this problem, and I'm actually trying out something new right now, and it seems to be really working. Okay. Because my pores, all of a sudden, my pores were really large and I couldn't find anything to help me. So I'll be doing product reviews, basically, is what I'm saying. Like stuff that I bought at Sephora, I can show you, look, I tried this, I tried that. This is what it did for me. This is what it didn't do for me. Like more of a thing, like I bought it so you don't have to. What's really interesting is I've been creating a lot of content here that I'm going to drop on September 1st. Okay. Because I just want to kind of bloop, and I just kind of want to have all my little ducks in a row. I like ducks and I like them in a row. And sometimes they're rabid squirrels, but it's okay. You know what? That's my intention, and then we'll see where it goes. But what it's going to be, so I did a video day before yesterday on this. It's Paula's Choice is the brand, and I got it at Sephora, and I got a little 2-pack of the liquid exfoliant alpha hydroxy acid, and then the beta hydroxy acid. So I was trying to figure out the difference between the two, using the two, it made a huge difference in my skin. So like after you cleanse your skin, you just add a little bit of this liquid to your face, and then let it dry. It doesn't have, it's not like a physical exfoliant where it's got the grains in it. It's a chemical exfoliant. And she's powerful, but she's effective because, see, here's the thing. Somebody said something, I saw it online, where they're like, hey, it's not that you have large pores, it's that your pores are full. And I was all, what? I kind of gagged a little bit because I was all, okay, that's disgusting, but also, facts. So I started using this to see if it would do anything. And I'm telling you, it has shrunk. Has it shrunk the pores, or what it did is it cleaned out the pores, okay? Because I would start to see, even wearing really good quality makeup, like little dots on my nose. And I saw some makeup artists that said, oh, you need to add more product. And I'm all, do I? Because I want skin to look like skin, and that's me. That's my preference. I don't really want to keep adding product, because then the more product I added, then it didn't look right, and then it looked dry around my nose. So I have been on a journey. Everything that I'm going to talk to you about can be found, I can give you a link to find it on Sephora or on Ulta or whatever it is. Some of the stuff, even some brands sell on Amazon, so you can get it there too. But this is more about, like, what I finally came to the conclusion was, when my skin was getting to the point where I was like, okay, all bets are off. Like I have got to figure this out, and there has to be a way like that. And why am I not hearing anybody else talk about it? Okay. So if you don't want to wait until September when the video drops, it's called Paula's Choice, and they're liquid exfoliants. Start with the light gray one. The light gray one is your everyday, but the dark gray one is a bad mamma jamma. So that's only just like here and there. Well, what was weird and cool is that I made that video on, today's Friday. I made that video Wednesday afternoon. Didn't post it because okay, you're gonna laugh at me. I was gonna say, I'm gonna, like edit. I gotta edit and da-da-da. And then those of you who know me are like, sure, you don't edit. I know. I thought I was gonna edit. And then as I'm looking at these videos, I'm like, I am not gonna edit. I probably won't. So get ready. I am what I am, and I don't care. I'm the We Do Not Care Club. The information is all that needs to get out. I don't need it to be pretty and polished. But yesterday, so I made that Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon. Yesterday morning, Kathy, shout out to Kathy. Kathy messaged me, and she's like, okay, I've had it. I have pores that are just huge. Sorry, I'm telling your business, Kathy. But I did too, right? Everything she said was everything that I had just talked about the day before. That's a sign. That, and there was another message I got from a lady from something that I had done the day before that she didn't even know about. Like, I've been having all of these little signs, and I'm old enough and have experienced this often enough now at this point to know that those are the breadcrumbs. I talk to you guys all the time about follow the breadcrumbs. Those are the breadcrumbs. And also, for some reason, figuring out this puzzle that is like my mature skin, while I don't enjoy the issues that I'm having, I like the puzzle, and I like finding solutions. So I have found some solutions. Like I said, it's product that you can get at your local stores. It'll be easy for you to find. It's not hard to find. Because I've just been trying anything and everything. And also now I've kind of been, and I'm very excited because I think something is being delivered today. I've been on a skin tint kick. I have a BB cream that I love. I have a cream foundation that I love. But sometimes each gives a different look. And I have been intrigued by all of the skin tints that are hitting the market these days. I'll just give you a little taster, just like a little hint of some different skin tints that I've been trying. One is e.l.f. Halo Glow. I just tried the Merit, the Uniform. I have, this one's an expensive one, but Giorgio Armani just dropped a skin tint. And I want to try them because I want to see. Because if it's a day that I just want a wash of color, I just want, BB cream is great, but sometimes even BB cream, and like personally, I have to have a mineral sunscreen. So when there's a mineral sunscreen, sometimes then it makes it the coverage heavier, right? Because it just does, and it can't be helped. Sometimes though, and it'll give a little bit of a more matte look. I want dewy. I want dewy, light glow, but not a foundation. So somewhere there in the middle. So anyways, so I'm going to do a series of like me trying the different ones and just telling you like, what is the difference between all of these? My biggest commitment. What did you think of the e.l.f. tint? Any spoil? Okay, good. Well, so is this exciting for you? The e.l.f. tint. I'll just go ahead and give you a spoiler. I had to buy two because light cool was too light and medium cool was too dark. There's nothing in between with a cool undertone. So I can wear the light cool on its own. I just have to zhuzh it up with some bronzer. Once I have my bronzer and blush on, then it's okay. And like this will be good in the winter. I really liked it. I really did. It's surprising. It was surprising to me how much I liked it. My only thing, okay, so this was the first one that I tried. I have since tried 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones, different brands. I was having the same kind of dryness around here, around my nose. And then, after a little, that's why I keep checking, because after just a little bit, it was like settling in my pores. This is not settling. So this is okay. I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to spoil everything, but anyway, this was starting to settle in my pores. So then I was like, I don't know if that's my favorite. I don't think it's my favorite because of what it's doing. But that was before I got a hold of the Paula's Choice liquid exfoliant. Now, many of you, and you might be one, Laura, do you remember when we talked about the Watermelon Glow from Glow Recipe, the liquid toner from them, the pore thing? Because that's a BHA and a PHA, beta hydroxy acid and polyhydroxy acid. So that is similar to the dark gray Paula's Choice. I don't think it's quite like the Paula's Choice one. She does not play. It is Paula's Choice. It is her choice for a reason. And I could be completely wrong on this. This is a consumer perspective, okay? That I feel like the Watermelon Glow is effective. And if you have it, finish using that up. And then I would say try Paula's Choice and see which one you like better. I think that Watermelon Glow feels like it's a little bit gentler. Yeah, a little bit gentler. So now that I've been doing that, and I've really kind of upped my hydration routine, and I made a whole video about that as well. So it's exfoliate and hydrate, exfoliate and hydrate, and hydrate. Because, so now I need to try this again. Yeah. I almost did this today, actually. But then I didn't. But I do have a skin tint on today. All right, I'll tell you what it is. Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever Skin Boost. Super Boost. Yeah, it's a moisture boosting skin tint. And another spoiler, something that, and I can't even believe I'm saying this because I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of makeup brushes. And in the last 3 days or maybe more, I have been applying skin tint, trying different ones, trying different products underneath, layering different products. Applying with my fingers has turned out to be the best. Can you believe it? These little guys right here. Yeah. So anyways, this has been a really fun, like I've been having a ton of fun making these videos. And, anybody, I know a lot of you work on social media, have followings, sell products and all of that. And I just want to say, it's just a reminder, and I've told you before, because I know, I've been coaching for years, but just make the content. Just make the content and put it out there. Let the chips fall where they may, okay? Edit, don't edit. It's up to you. If it stresses you out to edit, don't edit. I have all of these videos that I was like, oh, I'm going to edit, some of them I will because maybe they just went too long. Or sometimes it's easier for me to just hit the record button, record a video, not worry about if I'm mumbling or if I'm putting on mascara and I'm quiet for a minute. I may go back and speed that up just to like get through it already. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stress myself out about it anymore. When I first started my online business, I was worried about every little thing. Even the times when I just pumped it out and I would say, done is better than perfect and all of that, still in the back of my head, it would worry me. And it was like a mental load that I carried, like I was talking about mental load earlier. And I think that is one of the beautiful, beautiful things about getting older is being a part of the We Do Not Care Club and knowing that you have a whole community of sisters who also don't care. And if someone does care, they're not my people, right? You said that's your routine too, what the exfoliate and the hydrate. Yeah, it's the key. It's the key. And not destroying the skin barrier is tricky. So you got to be careful if you're using like a retinol and all of that. But this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. I want to navigate through this with a community of like-minded women, and also, I was making some notes yesterday. This stuff was occurring to me, but yeah. And one thing that I wrote is, we've done enough for others at this point. We've done enough. Everything we've done has been for everybody else. What have you done for me lately? This is you talking to you. This is me talking to me. What have you done for me lately? Everything I've always done, I've always thought about how does that affect my family? How does that affect my team? How does that affect whoever, right? How does it affect everybody around me? And then I think, how does it affect me? And I'm not going to do that anymore. That is a bold statement. I am not going to do that anymore. I finally understood, even though I learned this, no, there's a difference between hearing something and learning it, like hearing it and absorbing or understanding it. When they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. You should pour from the saucer, right? Whatever overflows, that's what you give. No. I didn't know how to do that. If you're Gen X, you probably have a hard time with that too. Because we give and we give and we give until we are so absolutely depleted that our body is like, you're going to stop now. And only then do we feel like we deserve rest. We deserve to take care of ourselves. I used to, if I had a cold or I had the flu or whatever, and I didn't like having the flu, but there was a part of me that was like, oh, now I have an excuse to relax. Now I have an excuse to lay in bed. Now I have an excuse to just shut everything else out. And isn't that sad that we feel like we need an excuse? I know this is so common among women. It's the hustle culture that we, right? It's the hustle culture that we were all raised in, and it's done. It's gone. So like I think back to all of the hustle and everything that I don't regret it, but all that I did to build up my business years ago and all of that. And I'm not taking that with me into my future. I'm not taking that hustle. Here's how I've been operating. I'll get an idea for a video and I get really excited about it. So that's my first clue, right? Because you're never going to have a happy ending to a miserable journey. So I have to find things that light me up and excite me. Because if I'm lit up and I'm excited, I have more to give. That's how you get the extra surplus in the saucer of your cup that you can give to other people. That's how you get it, is because you're joyful and you're moving in a way and you're doing things that are bringing you joy. So I get an idea, the thought brings me joy. I go and I do the thing. And then the old thoughts come in of, well, that looks stupid. Okay, well, you know what? The lighting wasn't good there, or that was a weird color, or oh my gosh, I did a makeup video. And I did a makeup video and the blush was way too, like, it shocked me. I had too much on the brush. I went to do it. And then my first thought was, oh, I'll just have to delete this because it wasn't live. It was a video and I could just delete it and move on. And then I thought, no, because why? Because that's authentic. And I'm not the only person who has put blush on that was way too bright or was not what you were expecting, and then you had to fix it. So I fixed it on the video. Because it is what it is. Also, we do not care. Also, we're authentic. Like, we're just going to do we're going to be what it's going to be and do what it's going to do. But I thought to myself, so I would have things and I would get excited. I make the video. That's when I know, like, instead of hustling in this next chapter of my life, instead of hustling to just everything with the kids and the thing and the family and the house and the work and all of that, I'm doing everything from a place of alignment. That is, my head is tingling. That's always my little toot. Do you ever get that? I always like when you get chills and stuff, I always get like little chills right here. And I just feel like that's just like a little heavenly high five when my head tingles. Anyway, I'm going to be in alignment. So there have been days when I would have an idea for a video and I would think, yeah, I need to make that. And I would have to stop myself and say, you want to make that or you need to make that? Didn't mean I wouldn't still do it, but I'm making myself stop to listen to myself, to listen to my gut, because your body knows, your gut knows what your brain doesn't want to pay attention to, right? So I was like, would I be creating that video because from a place of joy, from a place of alignment, or would I be creating that video from a place of fear? Because I was afraid if I didn't do it, something bad would happen or whatever. Khadija, hello. Good to see you. So sometimes the answer was, ooh, that I was actually thinking I needed to create that video from fear. Because, oh, I have to, it's, I've got to do this video because blah, 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 blah. And for whatever was rolling around in my head of why I needed to do it. Either to do it because you needed the income for your family, or which is legit. I mean, that's a real thing. But here's the thing. When you, and I don't remember, I always like to give credit to people who, say things that are very profound to me. And I don't remember who said this, but it was, you can accomplish so much more. I want this to make sense, because it makes sense in my head, but I want this to make sense. There's only so much as humans that we can do physically. Okay. When I was building an online business, I was working like 18 hours a day. Not kidding. 18 hours a day I was working. I couldn't physically work anymore than I was working. I couldn't physically do any more than I was doing. And then I heard somebody say, and it just really resonated with me. And if anything that you ever hear, I always say, like, take what resonates and leave the rest. Because if it resonates, that's like your inner knowing that just, you already knew it. It's a reminder. That's what the resonance means, right? You already knew it. You're just being reminded of it. So when you're at the point where you just physically can't move that mountain, you can't do any more physically than you've already done, how much more could you do energetically? And I don't mean your personal energy. I mean getting in alignment, okay? For some people, getting in alignment, it doesn't have to be all this woo-woo. You don't have to meditate to get in alignment or whatever. You just have to get yourself even in just a place of joy. Whatever brings you joy. Music, put on some music that just, when you hear a song, or you see someone in your family that you adore, or a friend that you adore, and you just get that joyful vibe, right? You just get that feeling of joy inside of you. That feeling is alignment. If you made every decision in your life from that place, things are just gonna flow. They're gonna flow. You're gonna be a magnet. You're not gonna be the moth to the flame. You're gonna be the flame, and all the little moths are gonna come around you, which kind of just gave myself a terrifying visual, but you see what I'm saying? You need to be the lighthouse. You need to be the lighthouse, and all the boats are coming. You know what? I'm coming to you. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes my metaphors get off on a tangent. Oh, I saw a little heart there. That was lovely. I didn't know you could do that here. There's another one. Okay, yay. Okay, yay. So that's what I've really been focused on trying to do. Trying to have more joyful moments in my life. Now, because when I'm joyful, and it only has to be for a second. You don't have to walk around trying to be a joyful idiot for, 3 hours. You just have to, sometimes I just close my eyes and I just think, okay, what brings me joy? And then I'll think of my kids when they were little, okay? Now, y'all who have kids know, those aren't always joyful moments. The snapshots are the joyful moments. So the visual that I get in my head, it's quiet. Nobody's screaming and yelling. And it's just a quick moment when maybe they're getting ready to go to bed and they all like piled on me and they're all clean in their jammies, just had baths, and they're just so sweet and they're a little bit sleepy and I'm just right. And then I just get that feeling and it just feels like bubbles. It just feels like effervescent bubbles. That's joy. Done. I did it. Done. Now, do I want to make that video? Do I want to create that content? Maybe. Or, and here's the other thing. Sometimes I get the feeling that I want to create content at the most inopportune time. Sometimes it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm like, ooh, I should, because I signed up for Ipsy. Ipsy used to be those $10 little bags and they'd give you just a bunch of random kind of, decent sized samples. And it was great. Like I was stay-at-home mom. I had no money. It was $10 a month and it gave me a thrill. 5 months later, I have a drawer full of crap that I've never even used. Well, I canceled it. Well, Ipsy's up their game. It's more like a FabFitFun box. And it is fab and fit and fun. Not so much fit, but it is fun, fab and fun. And so I signed up. I got my first box last month and then they shipped my second box. It'll be here next week. So I like to do, I want to do an unboxing video. And it hit me at the most inopportune time. And I was thinking, oh, I want to do that, but my old brain was like, no, it's past a certain time. I don't make videos in the evening, even though I have this beautiful lighted mirror. I'll do it tomorrow and whatever. Well, I didn't have the same energy the next day. Like what I'm saying is the same vibe. I didn't have that same feeling of joy the next day. So this is another way that I'm just retraining myself on just a new way of being, where when that bubbly, excited feeling hits, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and make the content, because that's the content that's going to be at another level. And that doesn't mean you have, expectations like when it's done, you're like, well, I don't know. I don't think it was that special. No. Trust the feeling, trust the vibe. When you get that feeling, don't try to overthink it and think, oh, well, I should plan this out and I should categorize the products and I can do this, show skincare products today and show makeup products tomorrow and show that. No. Just do it. Hit the button and do it. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Thanks for coming to day one of just a fun new, it's new, but this is where I started, was on YouTube. I started on YouTube in 2013, making videos, not really, I never went back to look to see if people were watching it. And then turns out they were. So I just think this is going to be a great place to revamp and relaunch our community. And I'm thinking, instead of going live on Fridays at 11 a.m., I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to do evenings. I'm going to do a Thursday evening. I want to be able to capture most everybody in the across North America. So I'm thinking if maybe 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays, because that'll be 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast. So let's do that. 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays. And you know what? We'll do that until we change it, because nobody is the boss of us. We are the boss of us. And let's just play around and not take it too serious. Okay. So I will see you next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Okay. I love you. Thanks so much. I don't know how to turn it off now. I don't know how to go away. What do I do? Live? No. That? Yes. Okay.